and sung today by Tatiana Montia.
And welcome back to Chris Bellotto Field, ladies and gentlemen, for the first game of our Saturday afternoon doubleheader between the University of Tampa Spartans and the Florida Southern College Moccasins. Last night was game one of this three-game series, which saw the Spartans come away with a 4-2 victory after the Moccasins had taken an early 2-0 lead with 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning. We're going to run through the starting lineups real quick for you as we begin today's game. For the University of Tampa, similar lineup to last night. Leading off, playing center field, Serena Cortez. Batting second and playing shortstop will be Christina Clauberg. Batting in the third position will be the designated player, McKaylee Dooley. She was last night's pitcher. Batting fourth will be the catcher, Maddie Farrell. Batting fifth and playing third base, Bailey Phillips. Batting sixth and playing second base, Taylor Farrell. Batting seventh and playing left field, Shelby Press. Batting eighth and playing first base, Emily Jansen. And batting ninth, playing right field, Lauren Reyes. And pitching in game one today for Tampa will be Sam Kay. We'll get to a little more on her later on. Pitching in game one for Florida Southern will be Kelly Galt, making her third start of the season for the Moccasins. Kelly had 2 very good starts for Florida Southern up in South Carolina last week, picked up a pair of wins on that road trip, and making her third start of the season. Kelly comes in with a 2-0 record, a 0.75 ERA, having thrown 9.1 innings so far, giving up 1 run on 8 hits, striking out 10 and walking 4. Opponents hitting just .211 against her so far this season. Again, it's the first game of a doubleheader today, so we'll have a pretty long day of softball. Hopefully you guys will be able to stick around for both games. We'll be bringing both of those to you here on the Florida Southern Video and Audio Network. You might notice there's a Florida Southern lacrosse game going on beyond the outfield. Today is the first ever lacrosse game on campus for the Moccasins. They opened their new facility this afternoon. The 2 teams, Florida Southern ranked number 2 in the country in women's lacrosse, and Adelphi, their opponent, ranked number 1. A rematch of the last 2 national championships going on over there. But we're ready for softball here today. First pitch will be coming in shortly from Kelly Galt. We're going to be starting just a few minutes early, and we invite you to stick around for a few hours today and watch some softball. First pitch is in for a ball. Serena Cortez, the leadoff batter for the Spartans, hitting .310, 3 doubles, and 3 RBI so far this year. Second pitch Lined into shallow center, and Shannon Bell is in perfect position to make the catch. And we have our first out of the game.
Shortstop number 3, Christina Clauberg.
And that will bring up the shortstop, Christina Clauberg. Christina had a good night for the Spartans last night, going 3 for 4, which tied her career high in hits. First pitch into Clauberg is a ball on the inside, just inside the batter's box. That pitch popped up into not quite shallow left field, where Michaela Dewberry will make the catch for Florida Southern, and 2 away.
The designated player number 9, McKaylee Dooley.
That brings up the designated player today, McKaylee Dooley. She was last night's starting and winning pitcher. Today just hitting for the Spartans. Dooley steps up to the plate with a .217 batting average. She takes ball 1 from Galt. With that .217 average, she has 2 doubles and 3 RBI. Had a good night last night at the plate for the Spartans. In addition to her pitching, she went 2 for 4 with a double. There's the 1-0 pitch from Galt, swung on and fouled over the third base dugout and off one of the screens over there for strike 1. Galt's 1-1 pitch comes in and catches the outside part of the plate, and the count is 1-2. Just underway here in the top of the first. We started a few minutes early today, 12:57 local time. And the 1-2 pitch hit up the middle, gets through Galt's legs, sneaks by the second base bag into short center, and that will be a base hit for the Spartans, their first hit of the game.
And catcher number 54, Maddie Farrell.
That brings up the catcher, Maddie Farrell. Maddie hitting .286, 2 doubles and 4 RBI. Takes strike 1. Farrell led the Spartans in RBI last year with 25, and she's leading the team again this year with 4 through the first 9 games. There's the 0-1 pitch from Galt. That floats in there for strike 2. .02 delivery comes in a little bit high. 1-2. McKaylee Dooley still at first for the Spartans after her single up the middle for the first hit of the game. And the 1-2 high and inside, and it's 2-2. And the 2-2 delivery swung on, bounced over the head of the third baseman, Allie Carroll, and gets down the line for a base hit. I had to hesitate there for a second because I'm used to saying Kinsey Green's name down there at third. We're seeing Allie Carroll play that position for the first time this year. Kinsey Green is in the lineup, though, today as the designated player. But Carroll will get her first shot today at third base after playing second base previously this year. First pitch coming in to the Tampa third baseman, Bailey Phillips. It's in for a ball, and Phillips hitting .364 for the Spartans with 2 doubles and 2 RBI. Pitch is swung on and driven into right, but Lindsey Wilson is right there tracking it down over near the line. And the Spartans get 2 hits in the inning, but leave both of them on base, and we will go to the bottom half of the first, still scoreless. We're going to take a second to run down the Florida Southern lineup for you here. Leading off for the Moccasins today will again be the right fielder who just made the putout to end the top of the first, the right fielder Lindsey Wilson. Batting second, the center fielder Shannon Bell. Batting third will be the first baseman Jessica Trania. Batting in the cleanup position again and playing second base today will be Alex Mace. Batting fifth, the designated player Kenzie Green. We mentioned she has been the normal third baseman for the Moccasins, but they put her in as the DP today. And batting behind her in the sixth position will be today's third baseman, Allie Carroll. Batting seventh again will be the catcher, Ziera Floodman. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Michaela Dewberry. And in the ninth position in left field, Desiree Klump. And they will be facing Tampa pitcher Sam Kay, who will be making just her second appearance of the season. She started one game. It was against Valdosta State. Did not go well for Kay. She did to pitch a complete game. It was on the wrong end of an 11-3 loss. And the Blazers tagged her for 11 runs on 10 hits. Kay struck out 1 and walked 5 in that game. And that is the only appearance she has made this year, as the Spartans have been riding McKaylee Dooley for the most part, but did not, of course, want to start her in all 3 games of a conference series. Dooley has started 7 of their 9 games in the pitcher's circle this year, and it's likely we'll see her in Game 2 today. The Moccasins last night jumped out pretty quick and hard on Dooley in the bottom of the first inning. Put their first 4 runners on base against the Tampa Ace with a walk and then 3 straight hits, and they were up 2-0. And then Dooley settled down and allowed just 3 hits the remainder of the night. Obviously, Coach Bellato a little disappointed last night in that result, especially when they started off so well and then were unable to muster much offense after that. Lindsey Wilson, a freshman from Chandler, Arizona, stepping into the batter's box for the first time today for Florida Southern. Lindsey hitting .333 this year with a .467 on-base percentage and has 1 RBI. The first pitch into Wilson is a strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That tails across the outside corner for strike 2. That's going to be a tough pitch to hit if Sam Kay can put that in that spot all afternoon. That ball is low, and Wilson checks her swing. The Spartans are going to appeal and ask if she did. They say yes. And just in case that call was made, Maddie Farrell went ahead and threw it down to the first baseman, Emily Jansen, and got the out. So they said she did offer at it. Tyrone Miller on the appeal down there at first base. Now batting the center fielder, Shannon Bell. She takes a swing at the first pitch and hits a little pop-up into the glove of first baseman Emily Jansen. And just like that, we have 2 outs. Didn't even get a chance to tell you that Shannon Bell was hitting .500 coming into this game. Now batting the first baseman, Jessica Trania, with a .250 batting average. She has 2 doubles and 1 RBI, and one of those doubles came last night, and it drove in the second run of the game for Florida Southern. First pitch into Trania is a ball. Trania swings at the next one, pokes it by Clawberg at short and into left field, and the Moccasins have their first hit of the game. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter, first baseman Alex Mace. all-conference designated player for the Moccasins last year. Alex had a hit in last night's game. Swings at the first pitch, chops it down to Jansen at first. She'll take a couple steps back to the bag and record the final out in the bottom of the first inning. So the Moccasins have one hit, they leave one runner, and we're still scoreless at the end of one full inning. Getting ready to start the top of the second inning here. Both teams had hits in the first inning, the Spartans picking up 2 of them, the Moccasins picking up 1, but neither team able to score, unlike last night when the Moccasins got 2 runs in their half of the first inning. And the Spartans will start off the second inning with the second baseman, Taylor Farrell. And yes, she is the sister of the catcher, Maddie Farrell. And one thing we did not mention last night was that the Farrell sisters were teammates of Florida Southern center fielder Shannon Bell, not only in high school at Durant High School in Plant City, just up the road from Lakeland, but also with their travel ball program, the Tampa Mustangs. Taylor Farrell steps into the batter's box with a 167 average. She's 2 for 12 this year with 1 double. Galt's first pitch into Farrell is high for a ball. Farrell swings at the second one and hits that foul over the third base dugout. A fan made a nice catch over there. Actually kept it within the confines of the park. Got a little bit of a cheer. One of the nice things about this new stadium is we don't have to worry about foul balls rolling down Frank Lloyd right way or rolling into the neighbors' yards. Here's the 1-1. That comes inside and hits Farrell. And Galt has put the leadoff runner on base. That'll bring up the left fielder, Shelby Press. Shelby, one of the top performers in last night's game for Tampa, went 3 for 4 with an RBI. One of 2 players for the Spartans last night who had 3 hits, the other being the shortstop, Christina Clauberg. First pitch in is a ball taken high. That was actually Shelby Press's second 3-hit game of the season. Off to a good start, hitting .375, a double, a triple, and 3 RBI for the Spartans. She fouls off the next pitch to even the count. Press has started the year 9 for 24. And that .375 average leads the Spartans coming into today. Count even 1-1. Just starting the top of the second inning. Galt hit the leadoff batter, Taylor Farrell. So the Spartans have a runner at first. Press fouls another pitch off towards the first base dugout, or the third base dugout. Count now 1-2. 1-2 delivery. This one is fouled the opposite way over the first base dugout. Galt's 1-2 pitch swung on and popped up on the infield. And that will easily fall into the glove of Jessica Trania for the first out.
Batting for Tampa, first baseman number 19, Emily Jansen.
And that'll bring up the first baseman and number 8 hitter in the lineup, Emily Jansen. Emily just 1 for 19 so far this year with 1 RBI. However, that one hit came last night and was the first hit of her college career. Jansen takes ball 1. Jansen, a freshman from Lutz, Florida, just north of Tampa. Went to Steinbrenner High School. Teammate of Florida Southern's Ann Sias there. A lot of these players from Tampa and Florida Southern have played together either in high school or in travel ball. Many of them have played together in both places. As Jansen takes ball 2. We already talked a little bit about the Farrell sisters and Shannon Bell and their days together at Durant High School and with the Tampa Mustangs. And the Tampa Mustangs, a prominent travel ball program in the Bay Area that's produced a lot of high-quality players for several teams in the Sunshine State Conference. Jansen has her second hit of the season and second of this series. Lines one up the middle to put Spartan runners at first and second.
And right fielder number 17, Lauren Reyes.
And that will bring up Lauren Reyes, the right fielder. Reyes has started 5 games this year for the Spartans, but was not in the starting lineup last night. She's hitting 167, 2 for 12 with a double and 1 RBI. First pitch into Reyes, high and inside for ball 1. Kelly Galt's fallen behind a few batters here today. That's not really been that unusual for her. She's generally able to work out of that, or has been this year. Last night we saw the opposite. We saw Aubrey Ellers jump ahead of nearly every Tampa batter, but couldn't quite finish them off. And that was one of the things that Coach Bellato talked about after the game last night, and the number of 2-strike hits that Tampa had was a little concerning. That ball hit hard down the left field line, but pulled foul by Reyes. Klump gave chase, but it was too far out of reach. The count is even at 1-1. But going back to last night, it was clearly disappointing. A disappointing result for the Moccasins to lose their first game here at their new facility. Overall, though, Coach Bellato was happy with the day. It was a lot of fun for her and the team, and an exciting moment for all of them. Would have liked to have gotten the win, but they'll have a chance to get 2 more today. 1-1 pitch. That ball hit up the middle, and there was some contact there between Dewberry and the base runner. Dewberry trying to get to that ball up the middle, and a little bit of contact there between Taylor Farrell and the Moccasin shortstop. Not enough to warrant interference, though. Don't know, just a little bit, got a little bit tangled up there, and it's going to go as a hit. And the leadoff, let's turn the lineup over to bring the leadoff batter, Serena Cortez, back to the plate. Cortez started this game with a fly ball to center. So the Spartans have the bases loaded. A couple of base hits here up the middle following the hit batter to start the inning. Neither of those balls hit very hard, just hit right into the perfect spot for the Spartans. Cortez takes a little bit outside, and it's 1-1. First real scoring chance for either team today. 1-1 delivery is high, 2-1. Galt's next pitch delivered, and that ball is lined into the glove of second baseman Alex Mace, and by making the catch, that her momentum carried her right over the bag at second, and she's able to step on it for an unassisted double play. That turned out very well in the Moccasins' favor. That ball hit harder than the last two base hits, but Alex Mace caught it on the fly, stepped on the bag at second, and was easily able to double off Emily Jansen for an inning-ending double play. Go figure. Two softly hit balls, relatively softly hit balls, go up the middle for base hits, and then a hard hit ball is caught for a double play. And we're going to go to the middle of the second inning, still scoreless.
Heading for the Moccasins, designated player number 15, Kenzie Green.
And we're ready to start the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Kenzie Green, the designated player today, leading off with a .308 batting average, one double, one home run, and one RBI. Kenzie had previously started every game at third base before today, and they're going to give Allie Carroll to start down there today, but still want to keep Green's bat in the lineup. And she swings on the 1-0 pitch, and that's a base hit up the middle. And that will give Kenzie Green her fifth hit and 14 at-bats this season, a freshman from nearby Bartow High School. Allie Carroll now batting for the Moccasins, making her third start overall this season as we see a pinch runner entering for Kenzie Green at first base. That's going to be the freshman Samantha Prosser. Samantha from Cornersville, Tennessee. And we've seen her run a couple of previous times this year. In fact, she had the Mocs' first stolen base of the season earlier on the trip up to South Carolina. Did that in the doubleheader against Francis Marion. This is her third appearance overall, all of them as a pinch runner. Like we said, she has one stolen base and has scored a run for the Mocs this year. Allie Carroll steps in. The first pitch is over for a strike. Carroll just 4 at-bats so far this season, 0 for 4, but she has walked once, and she's also been hit by pitch, so a .333 on-base percentage for the third baseman. Pitch fouled straight into the screen. Carroll, one of 2 transfers this year from Hillsborough Community College, the other being last night's starting pitcher, Aubrey Ellers, and the Moccasins had 2 other transfers from HCC come in last year. Both of them made the all-conference team here, one of them being center fielder Shannon Bell and the other left fielder Desiree Klump. And Carroll was an all-conference performer at HCC, just as the others were. Here's the 0-2. And home plate umpire Brian Seraphin said yes, she did offer at it, and it's going to be strike 3.
And for Florida Southern, the catcher number 7, Zia Floodman.
That'll bring Sierra Floodman to the plate. Sierra 3 for 12 this season for a .250 batting average. We saw a lot of her last night defensively. That bunt at the plate comes back up and hits the bat a second time. And that's going to kill the play. Last night, Floodman 0 for 2, but threw out 2 Tampa runners attempting to steal, ended up with 5 assists, and that's an unusually high number for a catcher. Here's the 0-1. That ball is off the glove of Jansen at first base. And now we have a runner hung up between second and third. Prosser, a mistake by the freshman, and she's going to end up being tagged out. That'll likely go as a hit on the play for Sierra Floodman, but a base running mistake by Prosser creates the second out of the inning. And it will go as an infield hit for Floodman. Prosser rounded the bag at second, and as the Tampa second baseman Taylor Farrell was able to pick the ball up there on the edge of the outfield dirt, or on the edge of the infield dirt, was able to get the throw in back to the infield for the out. First two pitches into Michaela Dewberry are a strike and a ball, and the count is 1-1 on the Moccasin shortstop, who's hitting .214 with a double, a home run, and 3 RBI. We have a stoppage in play. Home plate umpire Brian Serafin noticing a gate open in foul territory. It needs to be closed. And here's the 1-1 to Dewberry. Ball's outside, 2-1. And the 2-1 is low and away for ball 3. Floodman at first with the infield hit. The 3-1 is in for a strike, and the count is run full to Dewberry. Dewberry fouls this one away. The count will remain 3-2. And the 3-2 delivery from Kay is low for ball 4. And the Moccasins have runners at first and second for the left fielder, Desiree Klump.
Left fielder number 6, Desiree Klump.
Desiree hitting .235 this season, 4 hits and 17 at-bats, and has driven in 2 runs. She had one of those hits last night. A pitch outside, ball 1. Klump swings and misses at the next offering. The count is even at 1-1. Next pitch outside runs the count to 2-1. Kay's next delivery high for ball 3. Okay, in danger of loading the bases and turning the lineup over to the top where Lindsey Wilson is waiting on deck. And that's ball 4, high and away. And Kay has done exactly that. That's going to prompt a visit from Tampa head coach Leslie Cantor, who is closing in on her 600th career win. All of them with the Spartans. Once she gets that, she'll join Florida Southern's Chris Bellato and Rollins coach Michelle Frew is the only SSC softball coaches in history to ever hit 600 wins. And Leslie needs just 2 wins to hit that milestone. And even though we like Leslie, she's very likable. I can say that because I graduated from the University of Tampa many, many years ago. But we would still rather not see Leslie get those wins today. But we will be cheering her on every day after this. Lindsey Wilson steps back into the batter's box. Struck out back in the first inning, and the first pitch to her is ball 1. Wilson with a chance to possibly give the Moccasins their first run of the day. Swings and misses, and the count is even at 1-1. Another swing and a miss, and Wilson is down on the count 1-2. Wilson now hitting at .308 for the season. And she has reached base in every game so far. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and that's fouled down the third base side of the field over towards the dugout. Wilson's been hitting in the number 9 spot prior to this series, and they moved her up to the top of the lineup last night. The 1-2 pitch comes in just a little bit high. That was really close. That's going to even the count, 2-2. A few disgruntled Tampa fans thought that might have been strike 3. Here's the 2-2. Wilson pokes this one on the ground to short. It's going to be fielded by Clawberg, who goes the short way over to Phillips at third for the force. And the Spartans dodge a bullet as the Moccasins leave the bases loaded after picking up 2 hits. 2 hits and 2 walks in the inning. They're unable to score. They had a runner thrown out on the bases, and they leave them loaded as we go to the third inning, still scoreless. We're back ready to start the top of the third inning. Spartans will be sending up the 2-3-4 hitters in their lineup, beginning with the shortstop, Christina Clawberg. Christina popped up to short in the first inning after going 3 for 4 last night, tying a career high for hits, which she set as a freshman in 2015 against Nova Southeastern. First pitch into Clawberg is a strike. Christina missed almost all of last year after an early injury. First weekend of the season, played in just 3 games, went 2 for 7, but is back healthy again this year and in the lineup every game for the Spartans as their shortstop. She fouls the next pitch back and 0-2. As a freshman, she played mostly second base for the Spartans. There's the 0-2 delivery to Clawberg. That's fouled back into the screen. Tampa has had 4 hits in the game so far off of Kelly Galt, as well as 1 hit batter, but they've stranded 5 runners so far. That was a little bit of a problem for Tampa last night, too. They left 10 runners on base, even in the 4-2 win. There's the 0-2 from Galt. Swung on and fouled straight back. Galt will take the sign from Floodman. And the 0-2 is just a bit outside for ball 1. Galt's 1-2 delivery. Swung on and popped up onto the middle of the infield. Michaela Dewberry had some problems with it. Not sure really what happened there. May have lost it in the sun. It was hard to tell. Looked like she was calling for it all the way. It wasn't really hit that high.
Designated player number 9, Michaela Dooley.
Looked like she was going to make the catch, and then just didn't. We'll have to see how they rule that here in a second with Michaela Dooley at the plate. Michaela singled back in the first inning and pops up a bunt attempt that will go foul. Still waiting to see how that goes up on the board. And it has been called an error. Oh, 1 into Dooley is high for ball 1. Along with the new ballpark, we have a new scoreboard, so we're still trying to figure out how some of those numbers get put in there. One to Dooley is pulled foul and just barely foul. Inches foul, really. So the count will remain 1-2. Clawberg at first after reaching on the air. And here's the 1-2 from Galt. That's outside, 2-2. Galt's next delivery is swung on, a hit right to Dewberry at short. She flips to Mace at second for the first out. Over to Trania for the double play. The second double play that the Spartans have hit into today. The first one was a line drive to Mace. There was an unassisted double play to end the second inning. And now Dewberry, Mace, and Trania have turned a more traditional 6-4-3 double play to erase the leadoff runner for the Spartans and bring Maddie Farrell to the plate now with the bases empty. Farrell had one of the 2 hits for Tampa back in the first inning and lines the first pitch foul down the left field line. Farrell now at .310 for the season. 0-1 pitch to Farrell is popped up, and it's going to be a tough play for the third baseman, Carroll, but she makes a diving catch to record the out. That ball not hit very hard or very far. Carroll had to come charging in from her third base position to make the diving catch for the final out of the third inning. And the Spartans remain scoreless, as do the Moccasins. We'll be heading to the bottom of the third momentarily. We do want to remind you that, again, this is a doubleheader. The second game will follow approximately 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game, and it's part of a 10-game homestand for the Moccasins. They'll be here on Tuesday at 5 p.m. for another doubleheader, this one a non-conference doubleheader against Western Ontario. The Mustangs of Western, as they are often called, are the Canadian national champions, and they make this trip to Florida about once every 2 years. And they'll play some of the SSC schools down here, along with some of the other local, some of the local NAIA schools such as Weber or Warner. So we'll be back here with you on Tuesday for that doubleheader, and then next weekend the Moccasins will be hosting another Sunshine State Conference series, this one against Eckerd College, which will have a single game on Friday at 7 p.m. and another doubleheader next Saturday at 1 p.m. A lot of home games for Florida Southern here in February. If you're from the northern part of the country, that may sound hard to believe, but we're already into the mid-80s here. And this is warm even for Florida at this time of year. Shannon Bell will be leading off the bottom of the third inning for the Moccasins. She swung at the first pitch back in the first inning and popped up to the first baseman Jansen in foul territory. Prior to that, she was hitting .500, 8 hits in her first 16 at-bats. She has a double, a triple, 2 home runs, and 6 RBI. She takes ball 1 outside. Shannon also helped throw out a runner at the plate last night on a double in the first inning, hitting the cutoff player Michaela Dewberry with a perfect throw coming from the warning track in the outfield. Dewberry's relay into Floodman was in time for the out at the plate. That was in the top of the first inning. Second pitch is in for a ball, or out for a ball, and it's 2-0, and now 3-0 to the Moccasin center fielder, batting in the number 2 position. Here's the 3-0. Shannon looked like she was taking all the way, and it's strike 1. Jessica Trania waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1 to Bell. That is low and away for ball 4. And the Moccasins have the leadoff runner on base for Jessica Trania. Trania's average now up to .308 on the season after her first inning single. Also had a hit in last night's game. Shannon does not walk much. She's up there to swing the bat as Trania takes outside for a ball. Shannon started every game last year hitting either first or second in the lineup and only walked 5 times the entire season. Here's the 1-0 to Trania. She puts a bunt down. It's a good one right in front of the plate. Farrell's going to try to go down to second, but the ball has been called foul. Again, that ball spun back foul, so it's going to even the count at 1-1. Let's see if Trania's bunting again. This time she isn't. She's taking, and it's high and away, 2-1. Just does not yet have a sacrifice on the season. Bell is off and running. Trania swings to protect her, but it doesn't help as Farrell's throw down to the second baseman, Taylor Farrell, down to her sister, is in time for the out. That goes 2-4, and it's It's going to leave Tranya at the plate with a 2-2 count. Next pitch bounced out to Clawberg at short. She's going to have to hurry, and the throw is not in time. Tranya got down the line quickly and beat it out for an infield single. Second hit of the game for the Florida Southern first baseman. Alex Mace now batting. She grounded out to first to end the first inning for the Moccasins. First pitch into Mace is fouled away for strike one. Mace did not get to play against Tampa last year. She had been injured a couple of weeks prior to that and missed the last couple of conference series. So this is her first chance to hit off the Spartans. Here's the 0-1. That ball is bunted, and that will roll foul for strike two. Alex last year second on the team with her batting average in conference play. And in conference play, she actually ranked 11th in the SSC in that department, hitting nearly .350, which is what helped her earn first-team all-conference honors as a designated player. Down in the count 0-2. Mace swings, pops it on one bounce over the pitcher's head. Clawberg tried to come in and field it, but was unable to do so. We'll see how they score that. It looks like it's going to be an infield hit for Mace. Kay got a glove up, ball headed up the middle, and Kay was able to deflect it or slow it down. But that just created some problems for Clawberg, who had to come in and try to quickly field it and was not able to do so. And it's going to put runners at first and second for Florida Southern, and we're going to see a pinch runner now for Jessica Tranya at second base. It's going to be Annie Tracy. She also entered last night as a pinch runner. Tracy has served that role quite a bit over the last 2 years for the Moccasins, now a junior. And that will bring Kinsey Green up to the plate for her second at-bat. Kinsey singled back in the second inning. First pitch to Green is inside for a ball. Kinsey now hitting .357. Next pitch is outside, low and away, 2-0. Florida Southern has put its first three runners on base in this inning, but one of those was erased on a caught stealing. That was Shannon Bell, who drew a leadoff walk. And Tranya and Mace singled after that. One bouncer out to Clawberg, flips over to Farrell at second, and Farrell will complete the double play with the throw over to Jansen at first. And it's a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. The Moccasins turned one in their half of the third inning, or in their defensive half of the third inning, and now the Spartans do the same to end the bottom of the third. And we will go to the fourth inning, still scoreless. And the Moccasins are going to re-enter Alex Mace, as we suspected, back to her second base position. These two teams through the first three innings have combined for 9 hits, and they've also been the beneficiary of 3 walks and a hit batter. And despite all of those base runners, we have yet to see a run. We've seen 3 double plays so far in the game. Florida Southern has turned 2 of them, and Tampa has turned 1. And along with an error, I think that's 14 base runners combined through the first 3 innings. So it's a little surprising to see zeros up in the runs column at this point. But the pitchers have made the pitches that they need to make, and they've gotten some help from their defense. Most notably, Alex Mace turning an unassisted double play Dewberry and Mace turning another double play behind Kelly Galt. We saw the Tampa catcher Maddie Farrell throw a runner out attempting to steal. And all of that has conspired to keep the game scoreless. And it'll be Bailey Phillips leading off the top of the fourth for the Spartans. Phillips flew out to right to end the first inning, is now hitting .348 on the season. She'll have a swing at the first pitch and hits that off the handle over towards the third base dugout and is down 0-1. Taylor Farrell waiting on deck for the Spartans. .01 delivery into Phillips, lined up the middle. It'll be fielded by Mace. Nice job by the second baseman. Going up the middle, backhanding it, and then setting and making a strong throw to Tranya for the out. That looked like it was going to get through for a hit, but Mace was there to field it and get the leadoff batter, Bailey Phillips. Taylor Farrell now coming to the plate. She was hit by a pitch to start the second inning, but ended up being stranded at third. And she's hit again. Pretty much the same place as she was the first inning. Around the top of the back, she turned to try to get out of the way, but pitched a little too far inside. And the Spartans will have another base runner. They've had at least one in every inning so far. Shelby Press now batting, the left fielder. Press at .360 for the season. She popped up to first back in the second inning. She shows bunt, pulls the bat back, hits a one bouncer to Carroll at third. She throws to Mace for one out. But Mace is going to hold on to the ball and will have no chance to throw Press out at first. So the Moccasins still able to erase the lead runner, Taylor Farrell, on the 5-4 fielder's choice. And they'll give Emily Jansen a chance to bat with two out and a runner at first. Jansen had a single in her first trip to the plate today as she takes strike one. Jansen came into this series 0 for 15, but she was 1 for 4 last night and 1 for 1 today for the first hits of her college career. Galt's 0-1 is lofted foul down the third base line. Galt now in front 0-2. Galt gets the sign from Floodman. Here's the 0-2. It's outside 1-2. Despite Jansen's 100 batting average at this point, she leads the team in walks, so she has been getting on base. She had 5 of those coming into today. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Galt. That swung on and popped up into shallow left. Klump is calling for it. Comes in to make the catch for the final out of the top of the fourth. The Spartans will leave another runner on base. That's 5 through the first 4 innings, in addition to 2 runners being erased on double plays, and will still be scoreless going to the bottom of the fourth. Ready to start the bottom of the fourth inning. Allie Carroll will be leading off for the Moccasins. Allie was a strikeout victim back in the second inning. It was just her fifth at-bat of the season. She's had 7 plate appearances. And first pitch coming in from Kay is a ball. Actually, it will be called a strike. Carroll will be down in the count 0-1. Next pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2. Carroll looking for her first hit of the season and her third start of the season. The first 2 coming at second base on the trip to South Carolina. Here's the 0-2 from Kay. That's fouled into the screen, and it will remain 0-2. Pitch high and inside, runs the count to 1-2. Sam Kay came into today after giving up 11 runs in her first start to Valdosta State with a 19.25 ERA, but she's managed to shut the Moccasins out. Now fields the ball, hit back to her in the circle, spins around and makes the throw to Jansen for the first out in the bottom of the fourth. And the Moccasins have reached Kay today for 5 hits, and she's also walked 3 batters, but so far have not been able to break through against the left-hander. Pitch is a ball. Two left-handers going head-to-head. You don't see a lot of that in softball. The 1-0 delivery is inside for ball 2 as Floodman is able to check her swing. Floodman singled off the glove of Jansen back in the second inning. 2-0 is on the inside corner for a strike. Brings the count to 2-1 against Sierra Floodman. Floodman swings and lines it right at Taylor Farrell at second base. Hit the ball hard, but in the wrong spot if you're a Moccasin fan. Taylor Farrell didn't have to move far to make the catch. And that's the second out of the inning. Kayla Dewberry now batting for the Moccasins. The shortstop walked back in the second inning. First pitch to Dewberry is swung on, bounced out to Clawberg at short. She'll flip it across the diamond to Jansen, and it's the third out of the inning, and we remain scoreless going into the fifth. That inning was noteworthy for one reason. That's the first time either team today has gone down in order. We've had a lot of hits, a lot of base runners for both teams. For the first time either of the two pitchers has been able to get a 1-2-3 inning. We're getting ready to start the 5th inning here at Chris Bellotto Field. The two teams locked in a scoreless tie roughly halfway through the first game of our doubleheader today. Lauren Reyes will be leading off the inning for the Spartans. She is the number 9 hitter in the lineup. Reyes singled back in the 2nd inning. Now with 3 hits in her first 13 at-bats this season. Galt's first pitch into Reyes is swung on, hit hard, but foul. Past Leslie Cantor down there in the third base coach's box and off the fence. Reyes back in the box now. Galt ready for the 0-1 delivery. That pitch is perhaps a little bit low. It was definitely over the plate. It's going to even the count at 1-1. You could hear a little bit of disappointment coming from the Florida Southern dugout on that pitch. Galt's 1-1 delivery. Swung on and another hard hit ball, but foul. Some of the fans sitting behind the fence there, behind the dugout at third base, are a little startled. Galt now ahead in the count 1-2. Next pitch is popped up in foul territory. Tranya gives chase, tries to make a sliding catch near the wall down there next to the UT dugout, but comes up a little bit short. Galt's next delivery takes the sign from Floodman. Here's the 1-2 pitch from the sophomore. Skips through the opposite batter's box for ball 2. Galt, a sophomore left-hander from Bradenton, Florida. One of 2 returning pitchers the Moccasins have from last year, the other being another sophomore, Kristen Beecham. We may see her later today. 2-2. It's fouled away down the third base side. Florida Southern with the most inexperienced pitching staff in the conference coming into this season. Whether you measure that by innings pitched last year or innings pitched in their careers. That pitch is down for ball 3. A little over 118 innings pitched between Galt and Beecham in their careers coming into this year. Embry-Riddle, the next fewest innings among returning pitchers with a little over 179. No other team in the league had fewer than 232. That ball will be blooped into short left field, and Reyes will have a single to start the top of the 5th. It will be the second hit of the game for Reyes to match her total from her first 5 starting assignments coming into this season. Leslie Cantor will be out to make a change here. Looks like we're going to see a pinch runner for Reyes at first. That is what's happening. While Serena Cortez waits to take her place in the batter's box. And pinch running for the Spartans will be Lauren Pasco, who was in last night's starting lineup for the Spartans. First pitch into Cortez, and that's a bunt that will roll foul. Pasco will go back to first. I mentioned that she was in the lineup last night for the Spartans, played right field. Coming off the bench today as a pinch runner for today's right fielder, Lauren Reyes. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Cortez. It's hit softly to Dewberry at short. She's going to go the short way to tag Pasco. Looked like she thought a little bit about flipping it over to Mace and then decided to take it herself. It wasn't really in position to go to the bag for the force out, so she put the tag on Pasco trying to slide in, and the base came off its moorings. It's the first time we've seen that at the new field. We'll do a little field maintenance with Alex Mace out there, putting things back in place. Alex doing a little bit of everything today. She's had a base hit. She's been part of 2 double plays, and now she's put the second base bag back where it needs to be. Christina Clawberg now batting for the Spartans. Christina 0 for 2 today. Popped up to short and then reached on an error by the shortstop. That was in the 3rd inning, and she takes low and away for ball 1. Cortez now at first for the Spartans after hitting into the fielder's choice. A 1-0 count to Clawberg. Next pitch is pulled foul down the third base line, and we'll even the count at 1-1. Tampa has had at least one base runner in every inning so far against Kelly Galt. But the Moccasin defense has done its job behind her. Here's the 1-1, and that's bunted to Tranya at first. She fields it, throws down to Alex Mace covering the bag at first for the out. It'll be a successful sacrifice for Clawberg, going 3-4 on the play, moving Cortez into scoring position with 2 out for McKaylee Dooley. Dooley 1 for 2 today. She had a single back in the 1st inning. That was the first hit of the game for the Spartans, and then grounded into a double play back in the 3rd. That was Clawberg's 3rd sacrifice bunt of the season. Did her job, giving her teammate a chance to drive in the first run of the game. This is actually the first runner the Spartans. Dooley fouls one off for strike 1. Even with quite a few base runners today for the Spartans, this is actually the first one they've gotten into scoring position since the 2nd inning. Galt ahead in the count, 0-1. Here's the delivery. That's bounced out to Dewberry at short. She fields it cleanly, makes the throw across the diamond for Tranya, and that will be the final out of the inning. So the Spartans will leave another runner. That's 6 in the game so far through the first 5 innings for Tampa, and we remain scoreless. And the Spartans are going to re-enter Lauren Reyes in right field after she was pinch ran for by Lauren Pasco. So she'll resume her defensive position in the outfield for the Spartans as we get ready to start the bottom of the 5th inning. Both teams now with 5 hits in the game. And those Florida Southern hits have come from Jessica Trania, who is 2 for 2, Alex Mace, Kenzie Green, and Ziera Floodman. And Desiree Klump, the number 9 hitter for the Moccasins, and the left fielder will be leading off the bottom of the 5th. She's had 1 trip to the plate today and walked in her first appearance back in the 2nd inning. And that was the inning in which Florida Southern left the bases loaded. Desiree still at 235 for the season. She takes low for ball 1. Pitch outside, and Klump had a go at it anyway and fouled it off near the Moccasin dugout to even the count at 1-1. And here's the 1-1. Klump rolls it out to Clawberg at short, who fields it and gets the out at first, making the throw over to Jansen. And the Spartans have kept the leadoff runner off base. Which brings Lindsey Wilson to the plate. Lindsey 0 for 2 today. Struck out in the first inning, hit into a fielder's choice in the second. I can tell you this is going to be an infield hit for Wilson, where that ball was hit into the hole at short. Clawberg did a nice job to keep it on the infield, but with Wilson's speed, there is no chance to throw her out at first. And it'll go as an infield hit for the freshman. That is Lindsey's 5th hit of the season and 15 at-bats, a .333 batting average to go along with her 3 walks. So her good start to the season continues as Shannon Bell takes strike 1, which now means Lindsey Wilson has reached base safely with either a hit or a walk in all 6 games of her career so far. Here's the 0-1 to Bell. That ball hit into right field, and almost right in her tracks is Lauren Reyes, who makes the catch for out number 2. And we just mentioned that Jessica Trania is 2 for 2 in the game, picking up 2 of Florida Southern's 6 hits. She takes ball 1. Have to see if Chris Bellato wants to put something on here to try to get Wilson into scoring position with one of the Moccasins' hottest hitters at the plate. Wilson is going. Trania swings and misses at strike 1, and Wilson is in with a stolen base. And that swing by Trania really just to protect Wilson. We saw Trania do the same thing when Shannon Bell was attempting to steal back in the 3rd inning. Bell was thrown out on that play. But Wilson is successful with her 2nd stolen base of the season. Next pitch is high and outside. It's 2-1. Trania looking for her 3rd hit of the game. Now at .357 for the season. The 2-1 delivery is outside, and it's ball 3. Alex Mace on deck for the Moccasins. Kay has already walked 3 today, and that's going to be her 4th walk of the game. Putting runners at first and second for the Moccasin cleanup hitter, Alex Mace. Alex 1 for 2 today, grounded out to first and had a single A single and infield hit back in the third inning. These were the type of situations that Alex really excelled in last year. I already told you what she hit in conference play, nearly 350. And the first pitch into her is a strike. Mace will step out for a minute and collect herself. That ball is driven into right field on a line, but it is right at Lauren Pasco for the final out of the inning, and the Moccasins will strand 2 runners. And that is going to be 7 left on base for Florida Southern today. The Moccasins have 6 hits now in the game. They have not been able to push a run across. Florida Southern left one on in the first, and the bases loaded in the second. Left another runner on in the third. That was also the inning in which they hit into a double play. And now 2 runners in the just completed bottom of the 5th. So Kelly Galt is going to run out there for her 6th inning. She'd only thrown 9.1 innings combined in the first 2 starts of the season. So her longest outing to date, at least this season. She did throw 2 complete games last year in her 6 starts when she went 5-3 and had a 2.68 ERA. She's actually second on the team in appearances last year with 16. As a freshman, that was second to Brandy Jones, who made 22.
Batting for Tampa, pitcher number 54, Manny Farrell.
Kelly really finished last year strong in the month of April. Made 5 appearances, covered a little over 18 innings, and had a 1.02 ERA in those innings. And she's off to a good start here this year, picking up where she left off. We'll face Maddie Farrell leading off the top of the 6th inning. Farrell 1 for 2 with a base hit and a pop up to third. That was the diving catch by Allie Carroll that ended the inning. Probably the best defensive play that we've seen today by the Moccasins, other than the unassisted double play by Mace. That pitch is inside, too, for a ball against Maddie Farrell. Carroll's play, though, probably a little more difficult. Here's the 1-0 to Farrell. And that's going to go to 2-0. Galt wasn't off by much there. The 2-0 delivery is ripped foul. That ball hit a long way by Maddie Farrell. It was well foul, but a hard hit ball. I don't know if it got out down there down the line, but it was very close. It's 2:10 down the lines here at Chris Bellato Field. 2:20 into the gaps and 2:30 to straightaway center. This is one of the deeper parks that the Moccasins will play in this season on their home field. That ball hit high into the field and left field. Desiree Klump calling for it and makes the catch for out number 1. Bailey Phillips now steps into the box for the University of Tampa. Bailey 0 for 2 today. Flied out to right and grounded to second in her first 2 at-bats. Now hitting .333 on the season. First pitch into Phillips. Sounded like it hit off the handle of the bat, and it floats into left field for a base hit. So Bailey Phillips has her first hit of the game for Tampa, and it's the Spartans' 6th hit. And brings Taylor Farrell up, who has been hit by a pitch twice today. And if memory serves me right, it's come on the first pitch each time. This one is a ball. Low to make the count 1-0. Phillips at first following the one-out single. Taylor Farrell now at the plate. And the 1-0 pitch is now a little bit low for ball 2. Galt's 2-0 delivery. High and inside, and that's ball 3. In danger of putting Farrell on for the third time today. If she does, though, it would be the first walk that Kelly has issued. And she will do that. It's ball 4. Galt has issued her first walk that will push Phillips into scoring position for Shelby Press, who is 0 for 2 in this game, but last night was one of the hitting stars for the Spartans. Press went 3 for 4 with an RBI, and assistant coach Gianni Artadiello is headed out to have a talk with Galt, while the Spartans will make a substitution and send a pinch runner in for Phillips at second base. And that looks like number 10, Brianna Taphouse. Taphouse also made a pinch running appearance in last night's game. And the Moccasins have decided to make a pitching change here, and they're going to bring in Aubrey Ellers, last night's starting pitcher and also relief pitcher last night. She re-entered the game in the 7th inning after Jenna Weldon had come in and pitched pretty well in relief, ran into some trouble in the 7th inning, so they brought Ellers back in to finish the game. This one, though, a true relief appearance for the junior transfer from Hillsborough Community College. She took the loss last night, but gave up just 1 earned run in her 4 innings of work. So she'll get a few warm-up tosses here to prepare her to face Shelby Press. So the pitching line, Galt's pitching line, not quite complete, obviously, with the 2 runners on base, but up to this point, she's pitched 5 1/3 innings today, given up 6 hits, just 1 walk, did not strike out a batter, and that's a little bit unusual for Galt. And also hit 2 batters through a total of 76 pitches. And Ellers is ready to face Shelby Press. Again, runners at first and second, 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. The first pitch to Press, who is showing bunt, is outside for ball 1. And the 1-0 delivery is on the outside corner for strike 1. Mocs could really use one of those double plays they turned earlier today. They turned 2 of them in the game. The third one would get them out of this inning. Ball drifts a little bit low for ball 2. And it's 2-1 to Shelby Press, now hitting .346 on the season. Here's the 2-1 from Ellers. And that is a delayed strike call by the the home plate umpire, Brian Seraphin. He's got a little bit of a hitch in his delivery, as they say. Two-two pitch is hit on the ground down to Tranya at first, and she is going to make the tag on press, and then Phillips, or the pinch runner, I should say, Taphouse, a little aggressive coming around the bag at third. Tranya drove her back with a throw over to Carroll. So Shelby Press grounds out first baseman unassisted. It does move the base runners over, putting runners at second and third for the first baseman Emily Jansen. And Leslie Cantor is going to go to her bench again for another pinch runner. We'll check the number on this one. She's going in to run for Taylor Farrell at second base. And that's going to be Mackenzie Allen running down at second base. Allen, another of the pinch runners used by Cantor last night, now making another appearance. With 2 out in the top of the 6th, and Emily Jansen at the plate. Jansen 1 for 2 today. She takes strike 1. Jansen had a single back in the 2nd inning and then flied out to left in the 4th. That pitch is drifting foul over into the dugout, into the first base dugout. And Ehlers is ahead 0-2. So we have Brianna Taphouse at third, Mackenzie Allen at second, a pair of pinch runners for the Spartans here, following a single by Bailey Phillips and a walk to Taylor Farrell. In all likelihood, Phillips and Farrell will be re-entering for defense. Ball swung on. One bouncer down to Triny at first. She fields it, takes a couple of steps to the bag, and records the final out of the inning. And the Moccasins have escaped once again, with Tampa leaving 2 more runners on base. That's a total of 8 left on base for the Spartans today. And it does appear that both of the players we talked about, Bailey Phillips and Taylor Farrell, will be re-entering for Tampa here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Phillips resuming her position at third, and Taylor Farrell going back into play second. So the Moccasins hoping again to break this deadlock here. In the bottom of the 6th inning, the teams have combined to leave 15 runners on base. They also left 15 on last night when Tampa won the first game of the series 4-2 to Florida Southern, looking to even things up in Game 2 of the series. Sam Kay doing a good job for the Spartans today. She'd only made 3 appearances in her career prior today, which totaled 5.2 innings. And she's already thrown 5 complete today without allowing a run. She'll be facing Kenzie Green to start the bottom of the 6th. Green 1 for 2 today. Has hit the ball hard both times. A single in the 2nd, and then grounded into a double play to end the 3rd inning. And the first pitch into Green is low and away for a ball. Kenzie hitting .333 for the season. The 1-0 into Green. She watches that come in low, and it's 2-0. And the delivery into Green hits the ball hard on the ground to Farrell at second. But her throw across to Jansen at first is in time for the out. And that'll bring Allie Carroll to the plate. Allie 0 for 2 today, struck out in the second and grounded back to the pitcher in the fourth inning. And now she has her first hit of the day and her first hit of the season. Punches that through the left side of the infield. Carroll making her third start of the 2018 season and has collected her first hit. So with a runner at first, Ziera Floodman steps up. Ziera 1 for 2 today, now at 286 for the season. She singled in the second inning and lined out to Farrell at second. And that ball skips in, and Maddie Farrell was able to keep it in front of her, but it still squirts away far enough to allow Carroll to take second on what will be a wild pitch, we're assuming. I was just getting ready to say, I'm not sure whether the Moccasins will bunt in this situation, but it doesn't matter now. They've got the runner in scoring position for Floodman. And the 1-0 pitch to her is a ground ball to second. Taylor Farrell knocks it down, has it get away just for a second, but still has plenty of time to throw Floodman out at first. And Carroll forced to hold on there at second.
And then in shortstop number 21, Michaela Dewberry.
And Michaela Dewberry is due up for the Moccasins, but it looks like we're going to have a change. Head coach Chris Bellato going out to talk to home plate umpire Brian Serafin. And we are going to see a pinch hitter for Florida Southern. It's going to be Shannon Riley. And Shannon will be making just her second appearance of the season. She did get an at-bat earlier this year against Francis Marion. But she's going to come on for Dewberry here with a runner in scoring position, 2 out, bottom of the 6th inning. Certainly the first big moment of Riley's career, a freshman from Port Orange, Florida. Pitches inside for ball 1. And that pitch is low for ball 2. Riley ahead in the count, 2-0. Delivery from Kay is lined foul down the right field line, just past the Tampa dugout to run the count to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 delivery. That's bounced out to Farrell at second. She'll underhand it over to Jansen at first. And Kay has pitched her way out of danger again, as the Moccasins will leave their 8th base runner of the game, matching the University of Tampa here through 6 innings as we remain scoreless. And as we go to the top of the 7th here, Michaela Dewberry re-enters the game for Florida Southern at shortstop. Michaela had another hit-saving play last night in the game, going high, making a high leaping catch. A nice catch on that, or a nice play that took a base hit away from Lauren Pasco in the 4th inning. Seems like we see Michaela make about one of those type plays every game.
Batting for Tampa, right fielder
And the right fielder and number 9 hitter Lauren Reyes will lead things off here in the top of the 7th. Reyes 2 for 2 today, has her average up to 286 in the early going. Facing the relief pitcher Aubrey Ellers. That pitch is outside for a ball. Aubrey came in with runners at first and second in the top of the 6th and got a couple of ground balls to first to keep those runners on base and keep the game scoreless. The 1-0 pitch bounces in for ball 2. And that ball is also bounced in there for ball 3. Ellers making her team-high 4th appearance of the season. She started 2 games and is now in relief for the 2nd time. That pitch comes across the plate for strike 1. And it's 3-1 to the Spartan right fielder and number 9 hitter. That pitch is also in for a strike, and Ellers has come back with a couple of strikes here to run the count full. And it's a swing and a miss by Reyes. And Ellers has her first strikeout of the game and the first strikeout for any Moccasin pitcher today. Kelly Galt went the first 5 1/3 innings, did not have a strikeout, allowed 6 hits, no runs, and walked just 1 batter. Ellers now has pitched 1 inning officially with 3 consecutive outs. And that's a little flare on the infield, hit by Serena Cortez, and it falls into that terrible spot for the defense, kind of behind the pitcher's circle, too far in for the shortstop or second baseman to make a play, and it'll go as an infield hit for Serena Cortez. And that is the first hit today for the Spartan center fielder. And the Spartans will have a conference now with Leslie Cantor and assistant coach Denise Rubio coming over to talk not only with Clauberg but Cortez. And what was the Spartans' 7th hit of the game. Both teams now with 7 hits in the game. Clauberg 0 for 2 today, popped up to short, reached on an error, and then had a sacrifice bunt in her last trip to the plate. That was back in the 5th inning. We'll see if she's bunting again here, trying to put the runner into scoring position. And she is showing bunt and pushes it down the line for Tranya, who fields it and immediately goes to Mace, covering the bag at first. And it will be another successful sacrifice for Clauberg, pushing Cortez into scoring position for the 2nd time. For the UT designated player, McKaylee Dooley. Dooley 1 for 3 today with a single back in the 1st inning, grounded into a double play in the 3rd, and grounded out to short in the 5th inning, hitting .231 on the season. That ball is popped up softly towards Dewberry. She fields it on a bounce and throws across to Tranya for the out, and the side is retired. The Spartans leave another base runner after the hit by Cortez. We're through 6.5 innings and still looking for our first run of the game. Tampa has actually had a base runner, at least one base runner in every inning, and they have left at least one base runner in every inning, except for the 3rd, and that was when Dooley hit into the 6-4-3 double play. The Moccasins have had at least one base runner in all but one of their innings. So the teams have really struggled today to get those runners in despite having a lot of opportunities. 7 hits for each team. Tampa has also been the beneficiary of 1 walk, 2 hit batters, and an error. And the Moccasins have been on the receiving end of 4 walks by Sam Kay. If the Moccasins are going to win this one out, we'll come in walk-off variety. Desiree Klump will be the leadoff batter for the Moccasins. Here in the bottom of the 7th, the number 9 hitter in the batting order. She's made 2 plate appearances today, walked in the first one and grounded out to short in her last appearance. That came in the 5th inning. She's just trying to get on base. She had a base hit last night in the bottom of the 7th inning to keep the Mocs' hopes alive. And she takes low and away for ball 1 here today. Kay's next delivery is swung on and hit softly down the third base line, and that rolls foul to even the count at 1-1. Klump, a senior from Ontario, California, but played junior college softball here in the state of Florida at Hillsborough Community College, where she was a teammate of Shannon Bell, Aubrey Ellers, and Allie Carroll. Here's the 1-1. It's swung on and missed for strike 2. The Moccasins used to get quite a few players from Arizona and California back in the 80s and into the early part of the 90s. We haven't seen much of that lately, but they have 2 of them this year. Klump swings and hits a line drive, a soft line drive back to Kay in the pitcher's circle for the first out of the season, or of the game, rather. And that will bring up one of the other Pacific region, I guess you could call it, one of the other Pacific region players for the Moccasins, the freshman outfielder Lindsey Wilson from Arizona. First pitch to Wilson, a swung on and missed for strike 1. Lindsey 1 for 3 today with a strikeout, a fielder's choice, and a base hit. She's hitting .333 for the season. Here's the 0-1. Wilson drops the bunt down. Coming in to field it from third base is Phillips, and the throw across to Taylor Farrell covering the bag at second is in time for the out. There was a collision down there between Wilson and Farrell, but the Spartans did get the out on the bunt, which goes 5-4.
Batting for the Mocs, center fielder number 2, Shannon Bell.
Looked like the Spartans were anticipating that and had the defense in perfect position. Shannon Bell now at the plate, 0 for 2 with a walk today. She takes ball 1. Bell was caught stealing back in the 3rd inning following that walk. Pitch a little bit high for ball 2. The Moccasins getting into the part of the lineup now where they could win it with one swing of the bat. The pitch is high to Bell for ball 3. Bell, Tranya, Mace, Green, all capable of hitting the ball, if not out of the park, close enough that it would put a runner in scoring position with one swing of the bat. And that ball is in for strike 1. All 4 of those players I just mentioned have homered for the Moccasins, though Mace not yet this year. Here's the 3-1 to Bell, and that is high and inside. And we'll put the center fielder on base and bring Jessica Tranya to the plate with a perfect game at the plate going for Jess. She singled in each of her first 2 at-bats today and walked in her most recent one. Now with a chance to keep the game going or possibly end it for the Moccasins here. Takes outside ball 1. Jess had a double and an RBI last night. And a double here would likely result in another RBI and a game-winning run. That ball is low and away for ball 2. Bell has good speed on the bases. Trania swings and misses again to try to protect Bell, who is thrown out stealing for the second time today. And we are going to extra innings for the first time this season. So the Moccasins end up with a base runner in the 7th inning, but are unable to take advantage of it. And we will go into the 8th inning, still looking for the first run of the game. We mentioned this is Florida Southern's first extra inning game of the season. It is not Tampa's first extra inning game. They had one last Saturday against Valdosta State and lost that game 6-2. That was the first game of the doubleheader on that day as well. And it'll be Aubrey Ellers going into the 8th inning for the Moccasins. And she'll be facing the 4, 5, 6 hitters for Tampa, beginning with the catcher, Maddie Farrell. Maddie 1 for 3 today, had the base hit back in the first inning, and has since then popped up to third and flied out to left, now at .290 for the season. Both teams with 7 hits, and they've combined for 17 runners left on base. First pitch in from Ellers is called a strike. She starts Farrell off 0-1. Ellers goes into the delivery. And that's another strike, 0-2. Delivery by Ellers is fouled into the screen. The count will hold there. This is just the first of 2 games today between these two teams. Longtime rivals in the Sunshine State Conference, not only in softball, of course, but every sport. Ball is low and away, 1-2. It has been an especially heated rivalry in basketball, which you might expect with these two schools located so closely together. A little over half an hour from Lakeland to Tampa. Here's the 1-2. That looked like a pretty good pitch, but it must have been a little upstairs, according to Brian Seraphin, and it's going to even the count at 2-2. And there's a swing and a miss by Farrell. Ellers has her second strikeout since entering the game. And there's one away in the top of the 8th. Bringing up Bailey Phillips, the third baseman, who is 1 for 3. This is the second year in a row now that the Moccasins and Spartans have had an extra inning game in which they've gone into extra innings scoreless. Florida Southern won that game last year in Tampa. That ball is grounded over to Mace at second. She gets the out at first. And we quickly have 2 away here in the top of the 8th. The Moccasins won that game last year in Tampa, 3-0 behind the now graduated Brandy Jones. First pitch into Taylor Farrell is a ball. There's the 1-0. That's also a ball for a 2-0 count. Two-0 delivery by Ellers. Boy, that one looked maybe a little bit outside, but Seraphin calls it a strike. The Moccasins will take it. It's 2-1. A swing and a miss by Taylor Farrell on that one, and the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 drifts outside to run the count full at 3-2. Farrell has reached base in all 3 of her plate appearances today, getting hit by a pitch twice and walking once. And this time she gets a piece of it to stay alive. So Taylor Farrell with no official at-bats. Here's the 3-2. Grounded out to Dewberry at short. She scoops it up, makes the throw over to Tranya at first, and the side is retired in order, which is the first time the Spartans have gone down in order today against either Kelly Galt or Aubrey Ellers. And the Moccasins will have a chance to win it in the bottom of the 8th with Jessica Tranya due up again. She was at the plate when Bell was caught stealing to end the 7th. It'll be Jessica Tranya, Alex Mace, and Kenzie Green, the 3-4-5 hitters for Florida Southern. We already mentioned that last year these teams played a 0-0 game into extra innings, which the Moccasins won 3-0 in the 8th inning. They had another 0-0 game into the 9th inning here in 2012, which Tampa won 2-0. And in 2008, the Moccasins won an 8-inning game here over the Spartans 2-1. Those are the most recent extra inning games between the teams. And if you're a Moccasin fan, you're hoping that this game ends here within the next 2 or 3 batters. I'm just looking back through these all-time results between Tampa and Florida Southern. They've had quite a few of these scoreless duels over the years. This is the 8th time that they have gone to extra innings 0-0. Jessica Tranya takes the first pitch for a strike, and the second pitch bounces in for ball 1. So that's a lot of scoreless games that have been decided in the 8th inning or beyond. These teams did play a 17-inning game once. That pitch lined up the middle for a base hit, the 3rd of the day for Jessica Tranya, who is now 3 for 3 with a walk as well. Having a pretty memorable afternoon here against the Spartans. This was the Jessica Tranya we saw 2 years ago when she was first team all-conference. Alex Mace now coming up to bat. Alex 1 for 3 today. She had a single back in the 3rd inning. We'll see if they have the bunt on. They are not. Mace is swinging away and fouls it into the screen. And that's 0-1. Kenzie Green waiting on deck for the Moccasins. Mace steps back into the batter's box, down 0-1 in the count. Here's the delivery. That's chopped foul. Tranya was off and running. 0-2 delivery hits Alex Mace in the top of the helmet. She saw it coming in, ducked down, but it came in, hit her right on top of the helmet. No damage done there. And the best part of that for the Moccasins is it will push Trania into scoring position. And we are likely going to have a pinch runner here. And we're also going to have a pitching change for the University of Tampa. McKaylee Dooley will come in to pitch for Sam Kay, who has pitched a very good game. Easily the best game of her career. She just hasn't pitched much for Tampa. But 7 scoreless innings so far. She's given up 8 hits, struck out 2, and walked 5 through 1 wild pitch, and, of course, the hit batter out to Alex Mace. Coach Bellato talking to her base runners over there. I said we'll likely see a pinch runner, possibly for Trania. But Coach Bellato electing to keep those runners in there. She still has Jordan Shepard on the bench, who has made more pinch running appearances for Florida Southern than anyone else over the last 3 seasons and has really excelled in that role. The Mocs have already used Annie Tracy and Samantha Prosser today. So Dooley now in the game to pitch for Tampa. Kay is out. And Dooley was the winning pitcher last night for Tampa. Allowed 6 hits and 2 runs, and she's in a tough spot here facing Kenzie Green. The ball bounces past Farrell and goes all the way to the backstop. And both runners have moved up, giving Florida Southern runners at second and third with none out here in the bottom of the 8th. And 3 chances now to win the game. That ball hit down to short hard by Green. She checks the runner back to third, and by that point is unable to get the play at first. For one thing, Jansen had come in anticipating, well, I don't know if she was anticipating the bunt, but had come in and was not able to get back in time. Looks like that's going to go as a possible infield hit for Kenzie Green, but the runner is unable to advance, and it's going to load the bases for Allie Carroll. The first pitch into Carroll is a strike. The corners were playing a little bit in for Tampa, so when the ball got hit out to Clawberg at short, she had to wait for Jansen to possibly get back to the bag, and by the time she checked the runner at third, the Spartans weren't able to complete the play. Carroll swings and misses, and it's strike 2. Carroll down in the count 0-2. Dooley's delivery is outside for ball 1. Dooley 4-4 on the season with a 2.10 ERA. This is her second relief appearance, and she has struck out Allie Carroll. And that brings Zierra Floodman to the plate. Bases loaded, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Floodman 1 for 3 today. She has singled, lined out to second, and grounded out to second. First pitch to Floodman is in for a strike. Here's the delivery from Dooley. The ball is popped up behind home plate, and Maddie Farrell comes out of the dirt and makes the catch for the out. And now Michaela Dewberry comes to the plate for the Moccasins with 2 out, bottom of the 8th, bases loaded, and Dewberry drove in one of those 8th inning runs last year in the game Florida Southern won 3-0. Dewberry pops this one high in the air. It's foul. Will it stay in? And it will stay in for Bailey Phillips, the third baseman from Tampa, up against the screen. She's able to reach up and make the catch for the final out of the inning. And the Spartans escape. Moccasins extremely disappointed, leaving the bases loaded with 11 left on base now for Florida Southern through 8 innings. So for the second time today, Florida Southern has left the bases loaded. The Moccasins now have stranded 11. The Spartans have stranded 9. And we're going to go to the 9th inning. Still looking for our first run of the afternoon, and this is just the first of 2 games today. Both teams now into their bullpens. Aubrey Ellers pitching for the Moccasins, and McKaylee Dooley pitching for the Spartans. Dooley likely would have been the starting pitcher in Game 2 and may still be the starting pitcher today in Game 2. Tampa really with only 2 pitchers available in this series. Florida Southern still has one, Kristen Beecham, who has not pitched yet. That's a nice luxury for the Mocs to have, knowing you have someone down there for the 3rd game today, if that's who you want to start, who will have a fresh arm. So starting the top of the 9th inning, Shelby Press will come to the plate for Tampa and pulls the first pitch foul for an 0-1 start. Press 0 for 3 today, but had 3 hits last night. That pitch bounces in for ball 1. Ellers has retired 8 of the 9 batters she has faced. And the only hit she gave up was an infield single to Cortez in the 7th. Press pops that up into shallow center, and Mace is going to go back and drops the ball. She was calling for it all the way, got out into really short right center. Looked like she was under it for the catch, and then it just popped out of the glove.
First baseman number 19, Emily Johnson.
And that will be Florida Southern's second error of the day. Emily Jansen now batting, showing bunt, and it's a good one out in front of the plate. Tranya fields it, throws to Mace at first for the out. That is the 3rd sacrifice of the day for the Spartans. And that puts Press down at second base in scoring position for Lauren Reyes. First pitch into Reyes is swung on and missed for strike 1. Reyes 2 for 3 today, but struck out in her only at-bat against Ellers. There's the 0-1 pitch, and that's popped up on the infield behind third base. Dewberry calling for it and makes the catch. Looked like she might have just been crossing into foul territory as she caught it for the out. And Serena Cortez will come to the plate, the Tampa leadoff batter and center fielder. 1 for 4 today. She has the only hit so far off Ellers. That was a little flare on the infield back in the 7th inning. That ball, one bounce out to Dewberry. She can't come up with it. And the runners are going to be at first and third for the Spartans. Looked like Dewberry had a chance to make the play and just didn't come up with it. So the Spartans have runners at first and third for Christina Clawberg, the shortstop, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of sacrifice bunts. And that last play has been ruled a hit, an infield single. At least that's what's gone up on the board. Clawberg takes the first pitch for a ball. One-0 delivery. Comes in high for ball 2. And the 2-0 pitch is in for a strike, and it's 2-1. Here's the 2-1 from Ellers, grounded down to third. And a throw from Carroll to Tranya is in time for the out. And this time it's the Moccasins' turn to escape. We have seen this all afternoon today. Both teams putting runners on base, leaving runners in scoring position, which is why we're still 0-0 going into the bottom of the 9th. That is now 11 left on for each team today. The Moccasins in the bottom half of the 9th will have Desiree Klump leading off. And then the top of the order, Lindsey Wilson and Shannon Bell. The people I feel for on days like this are the umpires. Because this is a warm day and they don't get to go into the dugouts between innings. The trainers do take care of them with water between innings, but they're out there on their feet the entire day. And some of us are on our feet in the press box the entire day, too. As nice a facility as this is, the chairs did not arrive. The custom-made chairs. Now, some members of the press box, and I'm going to call one of them out, Sherry Zabo, our public address announcer, commandeered a chair from somewhere else. We think it's from the VIP section. And she's been sitting on that perch the entire game, making me angry on the other end of the press box. Now, she's done a good job today, as she always does, on the public address system. And those of you who have played here, if we have any alumni listening, have certainly heard her voice.
And for the Moccasins, left fielder number 6, Desiree Klump.
And you're hearing it again. As Desiree Klump swings on the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Gianni Artidiello not quite in position down there in the first base coach's box. Had to scramble to get back there. Next pitch to Klump. It's a check swing, popped up on the infield to Phillips at third, who will make the catch for the out. Klump tried to hold up, but was unable to do so, and it's the first out of the inning. Lindsey Wilson now up to bat. 1 for 4 today. That hit came back in the 5th inning. Infield hit. Wilson this time goes the opposite way and drops it down the line in left field. And she's going to be running around the bases. She'll hold up at second. The Tampa left fielder out there, Shelby Press, was able to get to it in foul territory in enough time to keep Wilson at second, because if that ball had kept bouncing down there, near the batting cages and the bullpen. I don't know if you can see that on your screen. Our camera can't quite pick up all of the territory, all of the foul territory here. So that ball landed in fair territory, kicked foul, and Press had to run it down. Got it back into the infield in time to limit Wilson to what is a one-out double. And the 10th hit of the game for Florida Southern. That's Lindsey Wilson's second hit of the game. Wilson really more of a left-handed slapper, and that ball just sliced down the line, and there was no chance for Press to get to it. The only question was whether it would stay fair. And that's going to give Shannon Bell and Jessica Trania possibly a chance to win the game with a runner at second with a base hit. Wilson has good speed. You have to think anything to the outfield, they're going to send her. First pitch into Bell is a strike. Bell is 0 for 2 today, and she has walked twice. The 0-1 into Bell is popped up on the infield, and calling for it and making the catch is the first baseman, Emily Jansen, for the second out of the inning. And the top hitter in the game for either team now at the plate, Jessica Trania. She's hitting now 400 on the season. 3 for 3 with a walk today as she swings and misses for strike one. Again, Trania now up to 400 for the season with a perfect day at the plate, 3 singles and a walk. She had an RBI double last night. Here's the 0-1, swung on and missed for strike two. This is the first time, though, she's faced Dooley today, who entered the game in the bottom of the 8th. The 0-2 to Trania is punched up in the air into short left field. Press coming in. Oh, juggled it just for a second, but hangs on to make the catch. And the side is retired. 1 runner left on base. We've also been informed of a scoring change. In case you're following along at home, the ball that Cortez hit in the 9th inning that was originally ruled an infield single has been changed to an error on Dewberry. Probably the right call. Looked like Michaela had plenty of time to field it and get the out at first. Regardless, it came to nothing in terms of any scoring. The Spartans ended up stranding 2 runners in that inning, so it didn't factor into anything unless you're Aubrey Ehlers and looking at the hits you're giving up, which means that Ehlers has still allowed just 1 hit, and that was to Cortez earlier in the 7th inning. So officially what we have now are 7 hits for the Spartans with no errors, 10 hits for the Moccasins with 3 errors. And, of course, no runs for either team. And McKaylee Dooley will lead things off here for Tampa in the top of the 10th inning. Dooley hitting .222 for the season, and she is 1 for 4 today. First pitch from Ehlers is hit into short center. Bell comes in, makes a running catch just below knee level. Nice play by Shannon Bell. These Moccasin outfielders are pretty much flawless. And if you didn't see them play last year when Klump was in left, Bell in center, and they had Donna Ryan in right, I think you'd have to agree this was the best outfield in the Sunshine State Conference. They combined for just 2 errors last year. First pitch swung on and hit to Dewberry, and she bobbles it, and it's going to be likely another error on the Moccasin shortstop. Maddie Farrell reaching first safely.
Maddie, third baseman, number 15, Bailey Phillips.
We were talking about the Moccasin outfielders, who combined last year for just 2 errors. That is the fewest in team history for the Moccasin outfielders. And Tampa going to its bench again for yet another pinch runner. This time it will be Erica Matic, who was last night's second baseman for the Spartans. She was in the flex position, so she didn't bat, she didn't run. We didn't see her on the bases last night. So the first time we've seen her in what you could call an offensive role in this series. Bailey Phillips now batting for the Spartans, the third baseman, 1 for 4 today. And Floodman's going to go out and have a word with Ehlers before that first pitch is delivered. And Ehlers will make the delivery. And it's in for a ball. And it's actually ball 2 because prior to that, Ehlers did not deliver the pitch in time. They're keeping a count on the pitchers. They only have so long to make that pitch, and Ehlers took too long, which is why Floodman went out to talk to her. And the next pitch is in for a strike. So it is 2-1, even though Ehlers has only thrown 2 pitches in this at-bat to Phillips. Two-1 is pulled foul. Klump might have a chance at that down in the corner, and it is just out of reach. Klump was giving chase, got down there near the batting cages into the shade, and I'm pretty sure you're going to lose that view if you're watching online at home. But that ball just out of her reach in foul territory, so it evens the count at 2-2. 2-2 popped up into center field. Shannon Bell calling for it and makes the catch. Didn't have to move far for the second out of the inning. And the second baseman, Taylor Farrell, comes to the plate. Officially 0 for 1. She grounded out to short in her last plate appearance. Prior to that, she was hit by a pitch twice and walked once. First pitch into Farrell is high for a ball. The 1-0 delivery from Ehlers bounces in for ball 2. Pinch runner Erica Matic at first for the Spartans. After reaching on an error. The 2-0 delivery hits softly up the middle, and Alex Mace has made another exceptional play. Once again, a ball that looked like it was going to get through into the outfield for a hit, and Mace went sliding to her knee behind the second base bag and made the catch for the final out of the inning. We've seen a couple of those nice plays by Alex Mace today. One of them she turned into an unassisted double play, and now this one getting the Moccasins out of trouble in the top of the 10th inning as we remain scoreless. And Tampa will re-enter catcher Maddie Farrell into the cleanup position. Resuming her duties as Tampa's catcher today. We've seen Leslie Cantor go to the bench 4 times for pinch runners this afternoon. So she has re-entered 4 players. And again, each starter is allowed to re-enter the game one time. And Tampa has gone through roughly half of its lineup with re-entries today. Alex Mace, who made the nice play to end the top of the 10th inning, will be leading off the bottom of the 10th inning, 1 for 3, and was also hit by a pitch today. She swings on the first pitch and misses, and it's strike one. Since entering the game in the 8th inning, Dooley has thrown 18 pitches, and 16 have been for strikes. That's not surprising considering the numbers in her career. It's a swing and a miss for strike two. Dooley actually led the league last year in fewest walks per 7 innings. 1.14. That was just ahead of Florida Southern's Brandy Jones. Mace swings at the 0-2 pitch, pops up in foul territory. Phillips fighting the sun down there and cannot come up with it over near the dugout. But McKaylee Dooley, 1.14 walks per 7 innings last year, led the league, and she was third in the conference in that category as a freshman, 1.07. Coming into today's game, she had walked just 6 batters in 53.1 innings. Mace takes one extremely close, but it's ball one. So with her 2 innings so far today, Dooley still with just 6 walks in a little over 55 innings. Here's the 1-2 to Mace. Swung on, bounced out to Farrell at second. He flips over to first for the out. And the leadoff batter is retired here in the bottom of the 10th.
Designated player number 15.
Kenzie Green steps to the plate, having gone 2 for 4 so far today. And that gets her up to 353 in the batting average. Green swings, pulls this one foul, and it's caught just in front of the Tampa dugout by first baseman Emily Jansen. That ball looked like it might carry into the dugout, but it didn't quite get there. And Green has popped up to put the second out on the board and bring Allie Carroll to the plate. Allie 1 for 4 today. Fouls one over near the on-deck circle by the Tampa dugout. And again, if you weren't with us last night, we pointed out that the on-deck circles here at Chris Bellato Field are actually the Florida Southern logos. It's a nice extra touch for Florida Southern. Here's the 0-1 to Carroll. It's high for ball one. The 1-1 delivery fouled straight back, 1-2. Dooley's delivery into Carroll, and it is called strike 3 for the final out of the 10th inning. And for Dooley, that is her second strikeout in 3 innings of work, and the 4th for Tampa pitching today. So we will continue playing here going into the 11th inning, still scoreless. I don't want to scare anyone, but I've been here a long time, and in 2001, we had a game similar to this one with Barry that went 21 innings. And that, too, was the first game of a doubleheader. And then we went 14 in the second game. And a doubleheader that started at 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon did not finish until after 10:30 that night. Florida Southern and Tampa have played a 17-inning game in the past. I think I mentioned that earlier. There have been quite a few extra-inning games between these teams. over the years. Tampa won that one, by the way. That was in Tampa, and that was also during that same 2001 season. Tampa won it 2-1. The teams played an 11-inning game in 2002 here in Lakeland, which Tampa won 1-0. So we head to the top of the 11th inning. Aubrey Ellers still pitching for Florida Southern, and she'll be facing Shelby Press, the Tampa left fielder, who is 0 for 4 today. She's popped up once, hit into a fielder's choice, grounded out, and reached on an error. Tampa with 7 hits today through the first 10 innings. Here's the first pitch. It's ball 1, bounces in there. Ellers has pitched 4 2/3 innings so far, allowed just 1 hit. Her second pitch to Press is grounded to short. Dewberry goes to her knees, fields it, and makes a strong throw over to Tranya for the out. We have to say today, Dewberry has made 3 errors, but trust me when I tell you, this is the best shortstop in the Sunshine State Conference, and it's plays like that. That was not routine, but she made it look easy. Similar to the catch that she made last night. Oh and 1 the count to Emily Jansen, the Tampa first baseman, 1 out, top of the 11th. The ball is low and away, evens the count at 1-1. Most shortstops on a play like that would not have even attempted to throw, or if they had, it would have bounced over to first and it would have been an infield single. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Ellers, lined right back at her, and she reacted just instinctively and made the catch. That ball, the hardest hit ball we have seen since Ellers entered the game, and it ends up in her glove for an out. What really should have been a hit for Jansen ends up as the second out of the inning. And Lauren Reyes comes to the plate now, 2 for 4 this afternoon, and takes the first pitch for a strike. We've seen some really nice plays by the Moccasins today. Alex Mace has made a couple. We've seen Allie Carroll take a hit away, possibly down at third. Aubrey Ellers now. Ball swung on and hit into short left. Klump is in good position to make the catch for the out, and the side is retired. Spartans go down in order, and that's something we haven't seen often from either team today. It's only the second time that Tampa has been retired in order today. But Ellers has done a magnificent job since entering the game in the top of the 6th inning in relief of Kelly Galt. Galt pitched 5 1/3 scoreless innings. Ran into a little bit of trouble in the 6th. They brought in Ellers, and Ellers has now gone 5.2 innings and allowed just 1 hit with 2 strikeouts. The Spartans have had a couple of other base runners against her due to errors, but Ellers has pitched around those, kept the game scoreless. And this is the second time now that Ellers has made a relief appearance and came into the game last night, re-entered, but is officially listed as the starter in the game last night. But we saw her come in relief against USC Aiken last week and pick up a save. And in this game, she's looking for the win. The Moccasins will send up the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Sierra Floodman, Michaela Dewberry, and Desiree Klump. Here against the Tampa relief pitcher, Michaela Dooley. And Dooley came on in relief of Sam Kay in the 8th inning, and Dooley has now pitched 3 scoreless innings for the Spartans. Floodman 1 for 4 today with a single, takes the first pitch on the outside corner for strike one. Next pitch is on the inside corner for strike two. Oh, 2 high and inside, 1-2 against Sierra Floodman, the Florida Southern catcher. This is going to be a long day for her if she's in the lineup behind the plate in game two, and we assume she will be. Here's the 1-2, poked foul. Sierra has caught every inning for the Moccasins so far this year and has been their primary catcher over the last 3 seasons since joining the team from Eagle, Nebraska. Here's the 1-2 pitch, hit high into left field, and Shelby Press barely has to move for the catch in the first out of the inning. Michaela Dewberry coming up to bat now, 0 for 3 with a walk today. Made a nice play in the top half of this inning to possibly take a hit away from Press. First pitch into Dewberry. She shows bunt, but it's in for a strike. Dewberry trying to get on base for Desiree Klump. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Oh, 2 delivery to Dewberry. She stays alive by pushing it foul near the Tampa dugout off the screen. Oh, 2 delivery from Dooley is high and inside, and Dewberry takes it for ball one. Dewberry lines this one past Phillips at third and into left for a base hit. The 11th hit of the day for the Moccasins.
Batting for the Moccasins, left fielder number 6, Desiree Klump.
In fact, 7 of the 9 Moccasins in the lineup have a hit today. Desiree Klump is one who does not, but she has walked. And she puts down a good bunt here that Phillips comes in and fields, and she'll have no play. Klump gets down the line quickly. She had no chance at second base to get Dewberry there on the bunt. So instead of a sacrifice for Klump, it's going to go for a hit, an infield single, putting runners at first and second for Lindsey Wilson. We just said Klump was one of the 2 Moccasins without a hit today, and she is now in the hit column, bringing up Lindsey Wilson, the freshman. First pitch to Wilson is a ball. Wilson having another good day at the plate. She's 2 for 5 with a single and a double. That puts Wilson at 353 for the season. Here's the 1-0 pitch. She bunts through it. And it's 1-1. Dewberry had drifted off the bag out there at second base, and center fielder Serena Cortez came in, and the Spartans thought about throwing behind her. Thought better of it. Wilson now with a 1-1 count. The pitch is fouled off. 1-2 now on the freshman outfielder, who has reached base at least once in every game so far this season for Florida Southern. The only player to do that so far. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. And that's the second out of the inning. Well, I'd mentioned earlier in the inning, Klump was one of the 2 players without a hit, and she got one. And now here's the other one. Shannon Bell 0 for 3 today, though she has walked twice. Shannon was hitting .500 coming into the day. First pitch is in for a strike. If the gods of softball are listening, we'll know shortly. Bell fouls that one back. It's 0-2. I had a former student with me who worked with me for several years, worked with myself and Sherry Zabo. He's now a fairly well-known comedian doing a lot of work out of New York City, and the 0-2 is swung on and popped foul. No one believed in the gods of softball more than Rogelio Perez. I was often scolded. He once told me no one invoked their wrath more than I did. I basically called them out today. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and it's 1-2. One-two to Bell is outside, and it's 2-2. Dooley being very careful with the Moccasin center fielder and number 2 hitter. Again, she was hitting .500 coming into today with a double, triple, 2 home runs, and 6 RBI. Here's the 2-2 into Bell. Now it's swung on and pulled just foul. Of course, Phillips playing fairly close to the line over there to prevent anything from getting past her, which would certainly score the winning run. Here's the 2-2, and that is outside, 3-2. Runners at first and second here with 2 out in the bottom of the 11th inning. The 3-2 to Bell is swung on, and it's looped into left center, and that should bring in the game-winning run with Michaela Dewberry coming around to score on Shannon Bell's RBI single into short left center that has ended the game and given Florida Southern a 1-0 win in 11 innings over the University of Tampa. How about that? The 2 players in the Florida Southern lineup coming into the 11th inning who did not yet have a hit in this game, the 2 starters who did not have a hit, both of them come through here in the bottom of the 11th. Desiree Klump with a bunt single that kept the inning alive, and then Shannon Bell with a game-winning hit into left center that drove in Michaela Dewberry with the game-winning run for Florida Southern in a 1-0 win for the Moccasins. Exciting day, or exciting win for Florida Southern. It's first in its new on-campus facility. And that has evened this series at 1 win apiece. After Tampa won the first game 4-2, Florida Southern now the owner of a 1-0 win in 11 innings. We'll go over some of the totals here for you here in just a second. Of course, the pitching today, outstanding. It's kind of strange to say that considering that Florida Southern had 13 hits. But every time the Spartans were in a tough situation, Sam Kay or McKaylee Dooley seemed to get out of it. And the pitching today by Moccasin starter Kelly Galt and then reliever Aubrey Ellers up to the task as well. Ellers ends up with the win. She's now 1-2 on the season. She pitched the final 5.2 innings, gave up just 1 hit, struck out 2, and did not issue a walk, and that was after 5.1 scoreless innings by Kelly Galt to start the game. For Tampa, Sam Kay, 7 scoreless innings. Got a no decision, though, with McKaylee Dooley coming in to pitch the final 3.2 innings, giving up 1 run on 5 hits with 3 strikeouts and no walks. Your top hitters today for Florida Southern, Jessica Tranya went 3 for 4 with a walk. And Lindsey Wilson and Kinsey Green, 2 freshmen, each with 2 hits apiece. And, of course, we got to the 11th inning, and the Moccasins used singles by Michaela Dewberry, Desiree Klump, and Shannon Bell to produce the game-winning run for the Moccasins. For the University of Tampa, they had 7 hits today, 2 of those coming from the number 9 hitter in the lineup, Lauren Reyes, and the other hits coming from Serena Cortez. Dooley, who also was in the game as the designated player today. Maddie Farrell had 1 for the Spartans, and Bailey Phillips as well. Also picking up a hit was the first baseman, Emily Jansen. So your final line score, Tampa, no runs on 7 hits with no errors. Florida Southern, 1 run, 13 hits, and 4 errors. The Spartans leave 12 runners on base. The Moccasins leave 12 runners on base. We're going to take a break here for a little while. We have about 30 minutes or so between games of today's doubleheader, and we will be back with you at approximately, we'll say, 5 after 4. That's 5 after 4 Eastern time, so if the Wilson family is listening in Arizona and the Klump family in California, you can make that adjustment on your clocks out west. We'll be back here in approximately 20 to 25 minutes and talk to you then.